Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Friday, June the 23rd. We do have a full slate of MLB games tonight. I think it's 15 games or 14 games tonight, so plenty of props to choose from. Got a big board to look through, and I got two player props I'm going to share in this video, guys. Two picks I like taking a first look at the board right now. We're going to talk through these two plays like we always do. We're going to share why I like them. Before we do get started, though, breaking down the plays, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, and if they do help you out, please hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you have never checked out Prizepicks before, you guys can actually sign up for Prizepicks. You can use my promo code NOAH. When you do sign up, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. Now, I didn't make a video on Wednesday or Thursday. Just decided to really take those days off. Personally, it was a day where there was a bunch of early games, so it was going to be hard for me to post a video anyway, just because, by the time I would have gotten the video posted, the games would have been starting like, an hour or two later. There wouldn't have been much, shelf life for the video. So with all those early games, Wednesday and Thursday, just kind of decided not to make any videos those days. Kind of needed a break as well, just because the plays for MLB have just not been going well. It's definitely been a frustrating run lately, but like I said, guys, I'm going to continue to try and pump out the content, continue to try and give you guys the best picks that I can. Always feel like, when I make these videos, when I'm breaking down the plays, I'm giving you guys some good information. Hopefully, eventually our luck will start to turn around. It's obviously been frustrating, but I still do feel confident in the picks that I put out there every day for you guys. And we got two picks to talk about for this Friday night slate. So let's talk through them. First pick that I like for today is going to be a pitcher fantasy score. We're going to talk about Chris Bassitt, 33.5 pitcher fantasy score for Chris Bassitt. And I like the over here for Chris Bassitt. So really good matchup here for Bassitt at home against Oakland. Obviously, Oakland's been kind of one of the worst offensive teams in the league this season. They're a team you don't really fear. They don't really have much power. They're also a team that strikes out a ton. They have one of the highest strikeout rates in the league against right-handed pitching this season. And when you just look at their lineup kind of from top to bottom, and you look at the strikeout rates for some of these hitters in this lineup, 33% strikeout rate for Ryan Noda, 33% for Seth Brown, 28% for Laureano, 25% for Jace Peterson, 30% for Langoliers, 44% for Tyler Wade. I mean, pretty much almost every hitter in this lineup strikes out a decent amount besides like Ruiz, Bleday, and Tony Kemp. Even, Bleday, 18% K rate, Kemp, or Ruiz, 16%. Kemp's a tough guy to strike out, but there are a lot of strikeouts available in this matchup. There's also not a ton of hitters to fear in this matchup. You don't really worry about Oakland being a team that's going to go out there and put up a ton of runs. They have a very, very low implied run total for today, one of the lowest on the slate. Oakland's just implied for 3.4 runs, so this is not a spot where we should really expect Bassitt to give up a ton of runs. Now, Bassitt this season has kind of been inconsistent. He's been up and down. He's had starts where he's gone out there and just absolutely mowed teams down, and then he's had starts where he's gone out there and given up, 7, 8 runs and 5, 6 hits. He has struggled in his last two starts, but those have also kind of been tougher matchups. He had to face the Rangers, he had to face the Orioles, but then the two starts before that against the Astros and against the Mets, he went 8 innings, 5 strikeouts, 43 fantasy points against the Astros, 7 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, 57 fantasy points against the Mets. It's been weird. Bassitt's been a pitcher this season that's been it feels like he either goes, completely nuts or he sucks. There's really no in between for him. You would think this is a spot against Oakland at home where he would pitch really well. And Bassitt has pitched really well at home this season for what it's worth. In his home starts this season, he's put up 37, 35, 61, 46, and 43 fantasy points. So I'm pretty sure he's over this line in every single one of his starts at home this season. Oh, besides one. So there was one start at home against Seattle where he had 24 fantasy points, but I think 5 out of his 6 starts at home this season, or 6 out of 7 starts at home this season, he's gone over this fantasy score line. So he's pitched really well at home. It's a great matchup. It's a matchup that has a lot of strikeout upside available in it. And this is also a spot where I think Bassitt can get us a quality start. He could potentially get us a win. Bassitt is favored, or he is expected to get a quality start here. His pitching outs prop on DK Sportsbook, it is set at 18.5, I believe. It's set at 18.5. It's juiced on the under, but Bassitt is still favored to go 6 innings here. He's also favored to give up less than 3 runs. His earned runs line is set at 2.5 with minus 145 juice on the under. So he's a big favorite to give up less than 2.5 runs. And then wins in terms of a win, in his odds to record a win, he's slight dog to get a win, minus 150 to not get a win. But we've seen pitchers, be able to get wins at times this season. This is a spot where I think the Blue Jays should be able to put up some runs. They're facing off against James Caprillion. Caprilion's not been that great of a pitcher this season. He's really struggled, giving up a lot of runs. And the Blue Jays do have a big run total for today, 5.9 implied run total. They're big favorites in this game, minus 300 to win the game, minus 300 money line to win the game. So I definitely think this is a spot where Bassett gets a quality start, potentially gets a win. I think there's strikeout upside available in this matchup. 33.5 pitcher fantasy score. I think Bassett does have a lot of ways to go over this line. Six innings, 6 strikeouts, 2 runs allowed. That would put him at 34 fantasy score. That's without even factoring in a win. He could go 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, 2 runs, and get a win, and that would still put him at 34 fantasy score. So yeah, this pitcher fantasy score line for Bassett, I do feel like maybe is a couple points too low. So that's the first play that I like for today, and then the other pitcher fantasy score I like for today. Before we talk about that, I do want to give a shout out to one of our newest sponsors. So I don't know if you guys saw my post on YouTube, I also posted on Twitter, but we have partnered up with Sleeper. If you guys have never heard of Sleeper, they are one of the newer DFS sites, but they're up and coming, they're growing. They're just like all these other DFS sites that offer pick'em games. On Sleeper, you can win up to 100x your money. They do offer you can make 7, 8 pick entries. You can potentially win up to 100x your money on Sleeper. So if you're one of those people that likes to chase for higher payouts, Sleeper does offer 100x payouts. They offer a multiplier system. So basically, whatever pick you choose, it's a little bit different than Prizepicks. Prizepicks, it's a fixed payout no matter what you choose, more or less. It pays out the same. Well, on Sleeper, the odds will change based on what you pick. So if you pick for example, a player to hit a home run, which is something you can take on Sleeper, you're going to get pretty boosted odds for that, because obviously a player's chances of hitting a home run each day are not super high. So you'll potentially get 4 or 5x your money off that one pick alone. And then if you put another pick with that, maybe a 2 or 3x pick, you could make a 2-pick entry that could potentially pay out 9x or 10x based on the picks you take. So Sleeper does offer a lot of different sports. They're offering a lot of different payouts as well. It's a site where you could potentially win a lot of money if you like to chase those higher payouts. And I did partner up with Sleeper, giving you guys a $100 match on your first deposit when you sign up and use promo code NOAH. So if you want to check out Sleeper, see all they do have to offer, sign up, use that promo code. Unfortunately, Sleeper does not have a web version right now. They only have an app. But if you download the app, go to their Pick'em site, or go to the Pick'em part of the Sleeper app. You sign up, make a deposit, use that promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100. And we'll be talking about Sleeper a lot more in the future, potentially making some content on Sleeper. But I'll definitely be sharing entries I'm playing over there, either on YouTube, on Twitter, on Patreon. Sleeper does have promotions they do throughout the week. They have discount sales, so we'll be definitely talking about some of those when those come around. But if you guys are not on Sleeper, go check out their app, see all they have to offer. Make sure that when you sign up, use that promo code NOAH, get your first deposit matched up to $100. But the other pick that I like for today, the other pitcher fantasy score I do like for today is going to be Joe Musgrove's pitcher fantasy score. We're going to be taking him to go over 32.5 pitcher fantasy score. This line, I was looking earlier, this line was already bumped up a point. It was at 31.5. It's at 32.5 now. I still like it at 32.5. I think I'd be fine playing it up to 33.5. Musgrove this season also been pretty good. He's been a lot more consistent than a guy like Chris Bassett has been. He has gone over this line in 4 out of his last 5 starts. And if you look at Musgrove's game log this season, he did kind of start off the season a little slow. You look at his first few starts of the season, 30 fantasy points against Arizona, then -2 against San Fran, 30 against the Dodgers, 20 against the Dodgers, 21 against the Red Sox. But then really ever since that start against the Yankees, we've seen Musgrove pitch really well. 44, 37, 36, 34, and then 25 fantasy points. You look at the starts where he has struggled this season, where he's gone under this line, they've been really tough matchups. He had to face the Rays, which is one of the toughest matchups. He had to face the Red Sox. That's not an easy matchup. He had to face the Dodgers twice. The Giants, obviously him giving up -2 fantasy points against the Giants, I think that was a bit of an outlier. And then in his first start of the season, he did have 30 fantasy points. He only pitched 5 innings, though, against Arizona. That was his first start of the season, so you would think, I would assume his pitch count was probably a little bit lower than normal in that start. But a lot of the starts this season where Musgrove has struggled, they've been pretty tough matchups. This is not a tough matchup against the Nationals. The Nationals, they're not a team that really strikes out much, but they're also not an offense that you really fear. This Nationals team They don't really have much power. They don't have a ton of good hitters in their lineup. Like, this is not a lineup that you're really afraid of. When the Nationals put up runs, it's usually just because they get like a lot of singles, like ground ball singles, ground ball doubles. They're not a team that makes a ton of hard contact. They're not a team that, has, much power. They don't really hit many home runs. I'm pretty sure in terms of, they're like ISO against right-handed pitching. I think they're dead last in the league in ISO against right-handed pitching, or they're definitely towards the bottom. So this is a spot we should expect Musgrove to probably pitch deep into the game, get a lot of soft contact. The strikeouts might be tough to come by in this matchup. Like, I could definitely see this being a spot where maybe Musgrove only gets like 4 or 5 strikeouts. But, if he only gets 4 or 5 strikeouts, he can still go over this, pitcher fantasy score. There's been plenty of starts this season where he's not gotten a ton of strikeouts, but still gone over this line. You look at that start against Cleveland. He pitched 6 innings, only had 5 strikeouts, gave up 3 runs, but still got 34 fantasy score because he got a quality start. He got the win. And I think this is a spot we definitely can expect Musgrove to get a quality start. Similar to Chris Bassett, I think this is also a spot where Musgrove has a very good chance of getting a win. If you look at the odds in this game, the Padres are really big favorites here, minus 290 moneyline favorites. They have a 5.5 implied run total for today. The Nationals, on the other hand, have just a 3.3 implied run total. Patrick Corbin going to be pitching for the Nationals. Corbin's been pretty much a gas can all season. He's been getting blown up a lot, gives up a lot of runs. So I definitely think this is a spot where the Padres probably have a good chance to put up some runs. I think Musgrove could be pitching with the lead, could get some run support, could potentially get a win. I'm expecting Musgrove to go 6 innings, if not more. I think he probably gets like 4 or 5 strikeouts. Maybe he gives up like 2 or 3 runs, but I still like his chances of getting a quality start, and I think he has a pretty good chance of getting a win here as well. This line, I think, also feels a few points too low on Musgrove, especially with how good he's looked as of late in a really good matchup at home. This is a spot where I definitely think we should expect Musgrove to pitch well. So these are 2 pitcher fantasy scores I like for today, guys. Chris Bassett, more than 33.5 pitcher fantasy score, and then Joe Musgrove, more than 32.5 pitcher fantasy score. Just targeting 2 guys in really good matchups. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but I do think these lines are a few points too low today. So these are 2 props I like for today, guys. Just kind of taking a first look at the board right now. I'll be sharing some more plays for today, though, over on Patreon later this afternoon. It is Friday, so it is Flex Friday. We will be getting our first Flex play, risk-free, up to $20 when you place that on Prizepicks. So make sure you're placing a flex play today, whether it's like a 5-pick or a 6-pick flex play. Those are usually the best ones to play, just in terms of your chances of hitting. In terms of the value that those entries provide. Usually 5- and 6-pick flex plays are the way to go for Flex Friday. So be sure you're playing those. If you want to take these 2 picks, put those in your flex entries, you can do so. If you want to take these 2 picks and just run them as a 2-pick power entry, you can do that as well. But that's all that I got for today, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. As always, make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, go check out Prizepicks. If you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, use that promo code NOAH when you sign up. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Wish you the best luck on the slate. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.